Welcome to Pouches and More, and today we'll prepare this fabric pouch. It's a simple pouch. It's got a zipper pocket which is completely lined. It's also got a front pocket, and this is how it looks. We have attached snap buttons. This fabric pouch is completely quilted. So let's check out the materials. We require 2 pieces of main fabric measuring 8 inches by 11 inches. 2 pieces of lining fabric also measuring 8 inches by 11 inches, 1 piece of main fabric measuring 11 inches by 6 inches, and 1 piece lining, same measurement. The main fabric has been fused with interfacing. This is the paper interfacing having adhesive on one side. 1 piece of main fabric again fused with interfacing 8 inches by 4 inches, and another piece of lining 8 inches by 4 inches. 1 piece of main fabric 1 1/4 inches by 2 inches, a 12-inch long zip, runner for the zip, and a set of snap buttons. So these are all the materials required. First we'll start quilting the main fabric. This is the quilting sheet that we'll be using, and this sheet measures 11.5 inches by 8.5 inches. We are using 2 of them. So for quilting we are first going to place the quilting sheet like this. The main fabric wrong side, we'll be placing it on the quilting sheet and we'll be quilting this, and we'll do this for both the pieces. Once our quilting is done, this is how we have done. We are going to just cut the extra all around. Now we'll prepare the front pocket. For that we have taken the main fabric. This is the directional fabric, so please be careful how it is going. These are having flowers, so the flowers are going up. So this is a directional fabric, and I will be placing it like this. Now right side facing up, we'll place the lining fabric on the right side of the main fabric. If the lining is having right and wrong, the right side will go down on the main fabric. So both right sides together, we'll be making a straight stitch on top. So here the right sides will be together and we'll be making a stitch on the top side. I will prepare the flap. This is the flap fabric. So this is a directional fabric. So either we can put everything going on top, that is the flowers all going on top, or else only the flap we can place it going on the reverse side. It's completely optional. Now I'll be placing it like this. Everything will be going on top. So for that, now in this also this is the top part and this is the bottom, that is the opening part, flap where it will open. So they will be curving both the corners. For curving both the corners, we'll first turn it to the wrong side and we'll take any circular object. This is the top of a small bottle, and just align it to the edges, both the edges, and curve it. Now in this we can do it in 2 ways. Either curve both the sides and then cut it, or else we can do it just curve one side and fold it. So here first we'll just curve both the sides. So this is one way of doing it, that is curving the corners. Now we cut both of them. The other method is we just do on one side and then we fold it like this half. Once we fold it, we are just going to clip both the sides and cut the curved part. So these are again 2 ways which you can do. It's completely optional. Once we finish cutting this, we'll also have to cut the we won't be cutting the lining now. This is the flap and it will be opening like this. So the down part, the open part will be having the curve. Now we'll place the lining fabric on the right side and we'll be stitching all around. Now again here right sides are together. Just align the edges. Now here we'll be leaving an opening, that is to turn it to the right side. Now the edges are curved. We directly stitch leaving a 1/4 inch all around. Another simple method is, in case we feel we want it to be more perfect, we can just make a 1/4 inch line all around and stitch on the line. So we'll be making around, leaving a 1/4 inch space from the edge and making a line all around. Now the corner curved part we can curve it freehand, or else again we can use the cap and curve it. I'll be curving it freehand. Now we'll be stitching on this line that we just drew. This is completely optional, so we can just stitch on this line. Our pocket top and bottom is ready, flap and bottom. So now we're just going to open this to the right side and we will be finger pressing the stitch part, which is going to finger press the edge. We need to make a top stitch on that. We'll take the flap now. This is the opening that we have left. This part we are going to flatten the seams before turning it. So we'll just flatten the seams on both the lining side as well as on the main side. Now the corners we are going to cut it. Remember not to cut the stitch mark, only till the stitch mark we are just going to cut the corners. This is a zigzag scissors that I am having and I will be using it for this curved part. Here also we will be cutting till the stitch mark. Do not cut the stitch line, only till the stitch line we will be cutting this. So this is the zigzag scissors that I am using now. In case we don't have the scissors, we can also do it. In case this is not there, we can also do it with the simple plain scissors. So for that what we'll do is we'll first cut the extra fabric all around. Once we finish cutting this extra fabric, we are just going to fold the curved part and make small cuts like this. This is how it will be looking. They both look similar. One is from the zigzag scissors and one is from our simple scissors. Now we will turn the whole thing to the right side. Push out the curved corners as well as the squared corners neatly. Now both we will just take it to the iron board and iron it. Finished ironing. Now here this is the opening. We will be making a top stitch as well as a side stitch. Here we will be stitching all around. Our top stitch is done as well as a side stitch is done. Everything is done. Now we are taking the main fabric which we have quilted and we will be placing the pocket base fabric on the right side like this. Now from top there has to be equidistance. It's completely optional, how much of a distance you want to keep, but see that both the sides measure the same. If there is any difference, you can always adjust it and make a side stitch. Now we'll pin this. We'll take the flap. Now before attaching the flap, we need to make a center mark. So we just fold it in half like this and make a center mark. We also need the center mark for attaching the snap buttons. Here on the main body also we need to make a center mark. So the centers will align while attaching the flap. Just fold it like this and make a center mark. Now on the flap, we also need to make a mark for our snap button. So here on the center mark, we will be taking around ½ inch above the edge and we'll be making a mark. Now here we can attach the snap button now or later on, it's optional. So I'll be attaching it later on. I've just made the marking. Now the side stitch also will be doing, and this will be attaching it, aligning the center lines. Here we're just going to place it. The flap will be opening like this. So you can put it up or down. It's completely your preference. Again in this, see that they are both equidistant from the top edge. Now here we'll be making a stitch on top and on the base sides. Now we'll prepare the zip. We have taken the zip. The side, the open end, that is the part that has the V, is the open end. On the other side we'll be placing the main fabric, right side facing down. So this is the closed end. We are going to make a stitch. Now here I've kept an extra fabric. This only to get a neat start. So first we're just going to stitch on this and then we will stitch on our fabric. One stitch is done. Now we'll just flip it over, finger press the stitch line and we are going to double fold it and again make a stitch. So once we double fold it, we'll turn it over. This is the top part. Here we'll again make a stitch. Our zip tab is ready. Now both sides will be leaving around 1/2 inch for attaching the zip. So both sides will just make a 1/2 inch mark away from the edges. Here we are going to place our, these are the 1/2 inch marks, and we are going to place our zip. Slider side will be facing down. We'll just cut off the extra zip tab on both the sides. Now slider side facing down, just align it with the 1/2 inch mark that we have done, and we will clip till the other 1/2 inch mark. Once we reach this mark, this is the 1/2 inch mark, we will stop stitching. We are going to separate the zips and just fold it. So this is the 1/2 inch mark, and here we are just going to fold it like this, but we will do it when we are stitching. As of now we have just clipped it, and we'll put the lining fabric right side facing down, align from the side and top, and clip them together. So right sides are together, we'll be making a straight stitch over here. The same 1/2 inch mark, we will be doing it on the top part where it is visible, and we will stitch till here. Once we reach this part, we'll place the needle down, lift the presser foot, and we are just going to turn our zipper tape like this, and we'll continue stitching. This is how it will be looking. Now we'll just open it, and this is how the end will be looking. This is over. We'll just cut the extra zip. We'll turn it to the right side to make a top stitch. Put both the fabrics on one side, finger press the stitch where we have just stitched. We're just going to finger press it, flatten the fabrics neatly, and here we'll have to make a top stitch. Our top stitch is done. This is how it looks. Now we'll be doing the same thing on the other side also. Now here again this is a directional fabric, so be careful how you place it. The flowers have to go on one side, so right side will be facing down. Here we won't be making the marks, we're just going to align it from the sides. You can always make a 1/2 inch mark if you want. I won't be making it on this side. I'll directly start clipping, just align from the sides. Now here when we reach the edge, we'll be making the 1/2 inch mark, since we need to stop stitching over here. So this is the 1/2 inch. I'll just be eyeballing and putting it. This is the 1/2 inch mark over here. Till here we'll be stitching. So here right sides are together, we'll flip it over. Lining fabric also right side together, align it from the top and clip them together. So your lining fabric right sides together, your main fabrics. Straight stitch, we'll be doing everything the same way as we did for the other side. So we're going to make a stitch first, then open both the fabrics to one side, and then make a top stitch. Finish making the top stitch and stitching the zip to the other side. So it's completely ready. Now we need to put the right sides together of the main fabric as well as the lining fabric. Align the edges neatly all around and clip them together. Lining fabric also same thing, align the edges and clip them together. Now all around we'll be stitching. On the lining fabric side we'll be leaving an opening, that is to turn the entire pouch to the right side. Rest entire will be stitching all around. Once we finish stitching all around, we need to box the corners. This is the opening that we have left. Now for boxing the corners, we're just going to separate the fabrics. We can also put our, since there is an opening, we'll just separate the fabrics from inside. So we have inserted our hand into the opening and we're just going to separate both the fabrics like this. This is the front side, so see that the pocket also is along with the main fabric on the front side. Like while boxing, it should not come on the back part. So while boxing, the pocket will be along with the front part, and we're just going to separate it like this. Flatten the seams neatly. The base and the side stitch mark should align together, and we'll be making a stitch. We're just going to clip it and flatten it. So we have clipped it and we have placed it flat. Now I want to take a scale, and from the center line on either side we'll mark 1 inch. So both sides will be 1 inch. We are going to make a marking, and this is our boxing. So we are having a boxing of 1 inch on all sides. So the total will be 2 inch, 1 inch on either side. We have made a line, and here we'll be stitching. Now we're just going to clip this. Same thing we'll do on the other 3 sides. Now for the lining fabric also absolutely the same thing. We're just going to put a hand inside, separate the fabrics, and we're going to flatten the seams and align the base and the side seams. Align them neatly. We're going to clip this and again flatten them, and we're going to make a 1 inch mark again on either side of the center line. So we're just going to take our scale and make a mark of 1 inch on either side of the center line. So this is on our lining fabric. So the same thing we'll be doing on the remaining 2 sides also, and stitch it. Our stitching is done. We are going to cut the extra fabric. We'll also cut any extra thread if it's there. Now we'll just cut the extra fabric on all 4 corners and turn it to the right side. From the opening now, we are going to turn it. Before turning it, we are just going to flatten the seams neatly, and then from the opening, we will turn the entire pouch to the right side. Push out all the corners neatly. Now the only thing left is to stitch the opening in the lining fabric. So we're just going to align the edges, and we can make a hand stitch or machine stitch. So we've finished stitching it. We made a machine stitch. We're just going to push the lining fabric neatly inside. Now we need to attach the snap buttons. We are going to use the tool to attach the snap buttons. On the flap we have already made a mark. So right on this mark we will be piercing a hole, and we'll attach the snap button. We'll be attaching the snap button how we normally do it using the tool. So on the flap we have first inserted it, and we'll be poking a hole on the base of the pocket to exactly know where to put the base also. So we'll be completing the snap buttons. We've completed the snap buttons and our pouch is completely ready. This is how it looks. It's simple to make. Please do try this. If you found this video helpful, please do not forget to like, share and comment. Thanks for watching. Bye.